Hello there and welcome to Dice Tales. My name's Mark and today I've got a battle report on Star Wars Legion. It's a game that I had in collaboration with Jay from Tabletop Oddity. He's filmed it in a different style to me. As I'm new, I'm going to keep to my hyperlapse and photo overview. So let's get to it. Okay, so I'm taking the Rebels this time and I've only got 7 activations, and the reason for that is I've taken an airspeeder. Why am I taking an airspeeder? Well, I know he's going for sort of maybe melee units, and Imperial Guard are his new thing, so I thought maybe an airspeeder might do something against them. And it's cool. I know it's not very effective, and I don't know, does quite well in this game, but let's see how I go. These are my orders, so that gives you a clue of that I'm taking Leia, Han and Chewie, and let's see if I do. And here I have. I've taken Leia, Han and Chewie as my commanders and special operative, and I've got 2 fleet troopers, 1 normal trooper unit, and the infamous airspeeder. My black fleet troopers have emergency stims, and they both have scatterguns and the extra troop, and the trooper units have the rotary cannon and an extra troop as well. Han has commanding presence, the 4 range command ability, and Leia has esteemed leader, so she can give out wounds to nearby units. This is the mission, advanced positions, where we get to scout a little bit ahead of our deployment, clear conditions, and recover the supplies, which is grab the boxes and run away if you can. So this is the board at the start of deployment. So the story I have here, so I've just read Rogue One, and that had the Imperials secretly building their Death Star, so I'm going with a similar story here in that the Imperials are doing some sort of factory-based slave work on this desert planet, and once they've finished with the workers, they don't want the workers conspiring and telling each other what they've been building to give away their master plan. So they're deciding to bombard and lay waste to the facility, so the rebels will never catch wind of their new secret construction. Leia has, however, found out, and she's hurt, and she knows of their dastardly tactics of wiping out civilians, so she's there to try and rescue any civilians. So she's there on the right hand flank with some normal rebel troopers, and when she sees the scale of this Imperial endeavour and realises that Emperor Palpatine is here himself to overview the situation, she calls in backup from the fleet troops and Han and Chewie and the airspeeder, and they come in on the middle of the board. That's the story that's going on anyway. So let's move on. Definitely check I'm recording, I've done this too many times. Right, bang. So this is looking up the table. First order for me is Leia doing combined orbital bombardment. He's told me about he's got 3 troopers with bombs, so I'm thinking that's critical to his playstyle and tactics, so that's who I aim for. I managed to kill 1 figure in each of those units, so it's a 2-figure unit, so I've whittled it down to half. Unfortunately that doesn't stop its effectiveness because they become the saboteur bombers anyway. So a little bit more work there, and he's going to be able to throw out a few bombs early on. So that was the bottom sort of smoke picture there. Leia's just on the edge of the photo there, shooting at a scout trooper behind the centre building and a scout trooper coming down that right hand flank. I also take a pot shot at the snowtroopers in purple, and I think that was ineffective. This is so I've laid down suppression on the scout trooper and the snowtroopers there. My airspeeder moves up, and again I think is ineffectively, or luckily for Jay, rolls the saves, so I've only got suppression on his scout troops there. His scout comes around the centre building and he's laying down one of his proton charges there. He decides not to detonate it because that will kill his scout leader. He's hoping that scout will get away to live another day and be useful for blowing up bombs later on. I put an end to that. I move away from the bomb in his out of range, it measured just out of range there, and I take him out his single scouts. I believe he's got about 10 activations to my 7, so that's 1 unit gone, and so he's down to 9. Right, Chewie mounts the hill, which we've said is heavy cover, and starts laying gunfire, bowcaster fire. I believe I take shots at his Emperor Palpatine there, the cloaked figure you can see in the background. I think tactically after the game I should have been shooting at the Imperial Guards, because if I shoot at Palpatine, he's got that guarding ability in which he can, esteemed leader ability, where he can farm out the wounds to someone else if he wishes, and only criticals will actually get through to hit him, and he's got good saves as well. But I do cause 1 or 2 wounds on nearby stormtroopers and the guardsmen, well, him making that choice to farm them out and not wound Palpatine. His bombers on the left flank has come up and dropped a bomb, and that was a devastating bomb to my fleet troopers. Puts them into suppression. They have to use up their emergency stims, so pretty much they're going to become a suicide unit if they survive. I'm going to try and charge them in and get the impact grenade to remove some cover and take out some stormies as well. I'm going to just go to that picture and then come and talk about the wounded Chewie. I've gone for make a mess, so that's given Han and Chewie aim and dodge tokens, and I think I just take pot shots at these flame troopers and guardsmen here with my sharpshooter ability. And then his Palpatine moves in and uses his Force Lightning, takes himself down to 2 wounds, and almost kills Chewie. Luckily the dodge leaves me on 1 hit point. I'm now immobilised. I think I can still shoot next turn though, so I think I just keep bowcasting as much as possible. There we go. Right, back round to the left flank. These snowtroopers are incredibly hard to shift. Here you can see 4 strikes and he rolls 4 defences. I hate the white dice, really hate the white dice. This is kind of critical because I waste time here trying to take out these snowtroopers when I should have been trying to get up the board and maybe grab my nearby boxes. His surviving bomber is bombing Lucky Han. I think we're both lucky here, but I think he actually gets a crit on the airspeeder as well here. It's quite unlucky. So this is me still tied up with these very same snowtroopers, but I decided to try and move up for the box. Don't think I need to worry about cover so much anymore. I want to stay out of range of his actual flame trooper, who's still around, and that could be devastating damage to this troop. But we're in a position to maybe scoop up that box next turn and try and get into the fight near Palpatine. His guardsmen have moved up and engaged Han, which makes him less effective. They've also brought a box to me, which is quite nice of them. If I can, I think my plan is to disengage. Now I'm skipping ahead of myself. Let's go back. My plan was to disengage and try and shoot one off, and Chewie's still around, somewhere around here. He can engage them as well. I think he takes out another one before going down himself. All the scout troopers have been taken out to this point, so his flame troopers come around to take a shot at my fleet troopers. My fleet troopers return fire and finally get an effective shot off. And he doesn't roll any saves for a change. So my fleet troopers, that's still quite, even though it's only 3 men now, it's still quite an effective force and dealing out the damage. And they're getting into the game. So Han disengages. Pulp. Seeing those robes just made me think pulp. Alright, Han disengages because if I get the initiative on the next turn, I'm hopefully going to take out one of these Imperial Guards, and Chewie can also charge in because he's now enraged and he's 1 hit point, and hopefully take out the other one, leaving me potentially with 2 boxes with that Han can possibly pick up. So the game has turned a little bit here. Looking very good for him on turn 1, 2 and 3, but things start to get close for me, but range I think gets better for me. I need to move, can't aim, slightly less effective dice rolls because of that, and because my guys were sort of tied up on the left flank with those flame troopers earlier on, I can't quite push far forward as much as I want them. Let's see what's going on. So this is the chaos of the battle at this point. Leia has has been trying to take out that flame trooper's hanging on with that stone trooper unit is hanging on with one figure now. So we're not really worried about that. We're going to come out of cover. We're going to grab our boxes and try and get into the main fight. My airspeed has moved in. It's been damaged by his DLTs, which have managed to get a little bit of impact hits on me, and I think it got damaged by the bomb blast as well. So it's just going on a suicide run now. It's charging into the thick of it, getting into a space where it can use its ground buzzer, back gun, and its front buzzer. And Wedge is passing it, so it's going to do a hard K-turn in a moment to come sweeping back into that field. Because I was disengaged, right, what went on here? Han was planning on shooting those Imperial Guards, but the evil Empire used their give in to the anger card. I can't remember the name exactly, but it makes him choose one of my units who has to move and shoot if possible or gain lots of suppression. So he uses that on Leia down the back, which puts me in this situation here. His Imperial Guardsmen moved away and scoops up the other box, and his stormtroopers have moved in, re-engaging Han and making me again traps. I can't shoot this Imperial Guardsman who's now got the objective points, and I'm stuck in hand-to-hand combat where I'm very ineffective. I've got no Wookiee to back me up anymore. Okay, bit more of a story here. You'll probably see it on Jay's video report in more detail. I took in less photos because I'm a bit stressed with what's going on here. I had fleet troopers in this exact same position facing Emperor Palpatine. However, the way I distributed my order units, I tried to use the distracting tactic, so he would have to shoot at Han Solo or these rebel troopers, which he couldn't because they were out of sight. However, something goes wrong. I think because he's engaged Han, he can't shoot at Han, so that means he still can shoot my fleet troopers. I guess this is a tactical turning point for me. If I'd used those fleet troopers, I could have got a shot on Palpatine, make him drop that box. Even so, a bit of balls there. Even so, his Palp goes first and kills my fleet troopers. I then, in this run where I have to get these rebel troopers in, running up, so they can't aim but they can lay a lot of fire into him. We take him down to 1 wound. I think it's like the number of blanks that I roll is amazing. And next screen, yeah, Han tied up. Imperial fleeing with the boxes. Leia dashing up the ground. If she had force speed or something like that, let's try and give her force powers, please. I might have got there. As you can see, I'm just outside of line of sight. So very unfortunate. I had multiple ways of trying to get Palp to drop that box, and it failed. I believe we do a recap of the video on Jay's and find out that he didn't actually pick up that box. So maybe another tactic would have been to move into the box and grab it. I think it would have come down to points. We didn't actually add it up. But with me losing an airspeeder and Chewie, him still having Palpatine, I don't know, I think he would have still won it on a draw there anyway. Very exciting game, sort of nail-biting turn 5 and 6. I think we're going to then switch now to the hyperlapse. So enjoy that. I'm going to let this run in silent mode and enjoy the hyperlapse. Think of the key points that I did there and see if you can spot them in the hyperlapse. If you like this report style or want to give me some tips, please do comment below and subscribe, and go and watch Jay's video report. Yeah, I'll leave it there. So let's move over to